Best to ask.
Call the July 26, 2018 Commission meeting to order. First item in business is the 2018 Water Smart Landscape Awards. I think we've got a couple people to present. Yes?
Yes. Good evening. I'm Holly Dickman, Water Conservation Specialist for the City of Hayes. And we're going to go through, we can get this, there we go. Talk about the 2018 Water Smart Landscape Awards. So since 2016, the Hayes Beautification Committee has given a Water Smart Landscape Award, and they've selected one residential and one commercial property to receive those awards. And the goal of this award program is simply to increase awareness of the importance of water conservation in the landscape, which is very important, and also to recognize those that have made great strides towards that effort. So that's the goal of this program. The Water Smart Landscape is a lot more than just knowing how to water correctly. It's actually the combination of several different gardening principles that together combine to create a landscape that is not only efficient, but also beautiful and creative at the same time. The principles of the Water Smart Landscape include things like planning and design, soil preparation, right plants in the right places, practical turf areas, efficient irrigation, proper mulching, and proper maintenance. So that's what some of the factors were that went into these selections. Nominations for the awards are requested and received by the Hayes Beautification Committee, and members review those locations and then they make their selections from those locations. The 2018 Residential Award winner this year is Joanne Jordan. Joanne Jordan, Joanne and Jeff, their residence is at 3306 Willow. And just show you a few pictures here of their residence. Lots of good color, lots of plants that are well suited to the area, and I know for a fact that once they are established, they are tough. So they're drought tolerant, only watered as needed, she told me. And just a few pictures here just to show. But they have Bermuda grass, which is a warm season turf grass. This is actually in the backyard, but they have Bermuda grass throughout the landscape. They also have a rain barrel, so she does utilize rain water for her watering. And so with that, if Joanne would like to come up and receive her award from...
I hear that those are up front, correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay, I've heard that they're heavy.
They are heavy. They are heavy.
Proper lifting technique.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Boy, I hope you're ready to lift this. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're going to get a picture here, yes. It looked like that was what we had. Yeah, that looks great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Next, we will move on to our commercial award winner, and this year the committee chose Commerce Bank. And there's a few pictures here of the property. Commerce Bank is another one of those very visible properties in the community, and as you can see from some of the pictures, I know you guys probably drive by there quite often, they've utilized organic mulches around most of their plantings. They have ornamental grasses, which are great for this area. They also have a broad expanse of junipers and other things that once established, again, would need little to no supplemental irrigation on a typical year. They also have a large lot in the back that is completely covered with buffalo grass. So once again, this is a good example of something that can be done with a commercial property that includes some mulched beds and native plants, organic mulches, things like that. So if Darren O'Connor would like to come up representing Commerce Bank, we will give him his award.
If I'm not mistaken, Darren, you guys worked on that quite a while, because I remember when that was built. I feel like you guys have made a lot of changes to that, because I drive by it a lot, so I live down the street, so I've noticed.
Boy, in the front part there, we got tired of John Scheibler coming and giving us.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all you guys do.
All right, thank you.
And good luck with lugging that home.
Unless you have any questions, that's all we have for this evening.
I'd just like to say, Joanne actually is a neighbor of mine down the street, and I drive by that several times, a day, and I see her out there quite often working, and I know you put a lot of work and time and effort into it, and also Commerce Bank, they get the luxury of seeing me every day, and just to see what that looks like now, they both said, good testament for our community and what you can do and do the right way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the commission minutes from June 18th. Any additions or changes?
I have none.
Seeing none, those will stand. Next item is the financial statement.
This is a report of financial summaries of the revenue and expenditures activities, City of Hayes, month ended June 30, 2018. Revenues in June totaled $7,631,177. That's an increase of $369,000 compared to the same period last year. Notable areas of increased revenue. June is the time for mid-year transfers. They're up $107,000 as compared to a year ago, and those include transfers to employee benefits, general fund, new equipment reserves from various departments across the city. Month to date, residential and business water consumption is up 18.8%. while revenue for both is up 18.6%. Month to date, conservation revenue is up a whopping 124%, so the top end of those users that are up are using the water. Year to date, consumption is up 3.6%, with the total water revenue up 9.8%. Revenue decreases, ad valorem property taxes down $71,000 across all levy funds. At this point, it's about a 0.87 delinquency. However, there likely will be 2 more supplemental distributions from the county treasurer by the end of the year, so that should make up for some of that. Expenditures in June totaled $5,026,915. That's an increase of $691,463 as compared to 2017. Some notable areas of increased expenditure. Contingency for the CVB was up $400,000 due to the approved expenditure for the engineering of the North Vine Street corridor. Fire department travel and training was up $11,700, the bulk of which was due to the timing of the airport firefighter live training at the airport. And new equipment reserve expenditures increased $235,687 due to the purchase of fairway mowers at the golf course and a new dump truck with snow plow for public works. One area of decreased expenditure that was notable, intergovernmental insurance expenditures were down $194,561 due simply to the timing of the billing from last year. Month-to-date general fund sales tax collections were at $602,114. That's an increase of $32,974, or 5.79% as compared to last year. Year-to-date general fund collections are at $3,523,272. Those are up $19,000, or 0.54%. We've had several positive trends over the last year, but this is the first reported positive year-to-date change in over a year. The report of quarter-to-date sales tax collections by industry classification was up $107,524, or 6%. That represents the 3rd straight running quarter we've seen an increase on that report. Finally, the portfolio certificates of deposit on June 30, 2018 totaled $55.55 million with a weighted average interest rate of 1.77. That's up 0.8% from a year ago. Par value on the portfolio treasury notes was $7.707 million with a weighted average yield to maturity of 1.78. The total balance of the money market account on June 30, 2018 was $2 million with a current yield of 0.5. Total investments are up $3,857,000 when compared to this time last year. It's worth noting that we took a draw on the revolving loan in the amount of $6.5 million for the reimbursement of expenditures ongoing since January on the reconstruction of the wastewater treatment facility. Therefore, investments have increased substantially.
I'll move that we approve the June 2018 monthly financial report.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Musil and seconded by Commissioner Melick. Any comments, questions?
I have a couple questions for Kim. On the water consumption, the financial report is a 2-month lag, right? So we're...
On water consumption?
Well, I guess when we get the financial report, it's usually 2 months lag.
We're reporting on, so we're reporting on June, so that would be May usage.
May. Oh, it is May usage, okay. It just shocks me the water consumption being up 18% with all the, I don't remember last year at the same time if that was a rainier May or.
Was it April
Yeah, it
last
was.
year?
We didn't receive a lot of of rain, or we received a lot of rain in
Last
May
year.
last year, and this year it really didn't start raining till
Till late.
the end of June.
Okay.
So,
So the bulk of that will be May usage. It
Sure.
depends on, because we've got four routes, so it kind of be half and half.
Okay, gotcha.
Most of which is May though.
Okay.
It's great news on the sales tax revenue. It's very nice to open that up and see that.
We're in the corner for
Yeah.
a brief moment.
Thanks.
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0. And I know we have some citizen comments. I'm looking right at you.
They're excited.
Although I don't necessarily consider this citizen comments. This is more of a celebratory presentation somewhat, correct?
There you go.
There you go.
Yes. I'm Heather Musel and
Melissa Dixon.
And we're here on behalf of Sister Cities. As you're aware, we received an award from the National Sister Cities Foundation for all the work we did with Paraguayans from last year at this exact same time, ironically. So we are on our way next weekend to Denver, luckily, Aurora, Colorado, where the international conference will be held, and we will be presented with the award, and it is recommended that we also have someone from the City Commission attend. So we just found out July 3rd, and there was a little bit of confusion from Sister Cities International, the committee, about when and where it was going to take place. So we've had our committee meeting on Wednesday, and we're able to finalize things. And so we wanted to just present to you the schedule and to see if it's possible for one commissioner to be able to go. We will be flying Hayes to get there for the conference. The conference is Wednesday through Saturday, but a majority of our members can only go on Saturday, and it's a gala that evening that the presentation is going to be in front of everyone for the city of Hayes. And
So that's Saturday, August 3rd. 4th.
I think that's 4th. Yep, August 4th. So what we just did is put together a packet. Can I bring that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It just kind of outlines the day of the events, and then
Thanks.
and then this can be an extra for whoever. There are 3 pages actually for the events on Saturday, and I highlighted on the 3rd page where it shows you that Hayes will be recognized as a sister city for the award. Because we have to pay either for the entire conference or we can pay per day. That's why we are choosing to go just for the day due to the cost. So that's why I only included Saturday, because most of our committee members are just going Saturday. And then they will stay overnight and then fly back on Sunday, just because we can't fly back and attend the gala at the same day. So there were 2 options for Fly Hayes. I included that in the packet as well, just to see times and costs for you. And then Sister Cities, grateful to the city of Hayes for the payments you make to our committee to run will be paying for this. So we would be honored to have you as our guest.
Well, great. Thank you so much for coming and for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on your award. And
Thank you.
I remember that entire visit, and I know from firsthand experience from the fellow to my left how much work that you put into that. I mean, not only just seeing it, but I mean, you know, just from behind the scenes. So thank you guys for everything that you put into that. I know that was a big effort on your part.
That was a gift.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was part of it. Yeah,
That was
exactly.
part of the gift, so. Yeah.
And I also like to, I know Sister Cities, you know, we have a lot of volunteer groups that get a lot of attention, and this is a smaller group.
Mhm.
And we actually had them in our house. We hosted them a few times, many hours, and it was really neat to just sit down and be a relaxed atmosphere, talking to the
Mhm.
group. Went out to eat with them a few times, and just on how they comment on how Hayes welcomed them so much. I mean, I think most of us, that's how we want our city to feel. And these people, I've talked to them via Facebook or email many times, and you know, they said over and over how everybody was so welcoming, and that's a big, you know, credit to our community, and thank you guys and your board. So.
Mhm.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed on 13th Street, above the street signs, there are new signs up there. That's, would you like to tell me about
Well,
those?
those were presented 2 years ago.
Those were presented 2 years ago.
When Eber was mayor.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's correct.
We had a small delegation from Paraguay who visited for 36 hours. And so we had, James, I believe you were just
Mhm.
on the commission
Right,
at that
yep.
time. And we dedicated 13th Street because of the sister cities quad there on 13th and Hall.
Mhm.
And so we designated that an honorary of Santa Maria, who is our official sister cities in Paraguay. And then a year later, part of our committee deemed it important for city committee members to come and visit our town and see what networking can occur. And so we had 5 visitors actually come last year at this time when we celebrated. We did the invitation in coordinates with the
City Sesquicentennial.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was really neat to see some of those same people come back, just for our celebration, and be on stage with them.
Yeah, because I believe that it was the governor of what would be the state of Santa Maria. I think he actually came both times,
Yep.
if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a really neat guy.
And then at that same time, we're starting the connection with the city in China. And they were visitors at that same time. So
Mhm. I
that
remember
all
that.
citywide event on Sunday is when we were able to honor them as well.
It was a great event.
Well, people are starting to notice the signs above the signs now, because I have had several people ask me about them, and I said, well, this was coming up, and I will find out.
Well,
We had-
and in Paraguay, there is a city, or a street deemed
Right.
Hayes.
That's how that all started is, I'm just blanking on his name right now, who initially went down.
Oh, Max.
Max, thank you, went down, and when he was down there, he discovered that they still had a street down there, Hayes City Street, or whatever. And so when we knew that they were coming, there was discussion about potentially renaming one, but of course, I mean, when you rename a street, I mean, that affects a lot of people if you're on that street,
Yeah.
So initially it was find a street that didn't have anyone or anything that would be impacted, but then, I mean, if that's the case, then it's really not recognizable either. It's not visible. So, I mean, just from what you told me, it sounds to me like we made the right decision to kind of do like an honorary renaming of
Yeah.
13th
More
Street.
symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that it's more visible for you guys.
Right,
yeah.
and the connection with Santa Maria and Paraguay was, started all back with Mariana Beach.
Mhm.
So, her love for that community has just continued now for years.
Mhm.
And the guy that was here, I don't remember his name, runs that museum.
Museum.
Yeah, so that was, and he just was, I mean, just the way he talked, he couldn't believe he was actually in Hayes.
Isabelino.
Yeah, so it's, that was really neat just to sit and visit with him. And I will tell you, it's a good thing I'm married to somebody who can speak Spanish, because half the time I couldn't understand what they were telling me. But it was really cool. It was really cool.
I wouldn't know either, so.
And we are continuing those relationships with the Paraguayans, and we've got some things that they would like help and assistance with that we are going to try and network with people here in Hayes for them too. So we're looking forward to continuing that.
Well, thank you for coming, and unfortunately, I wanted to get the dates right. That's my weekend to work, so I won't be able to attend, and I'm sorry about that. If it's being on the weekend, I thought there was a good chance, but you picked the wrong 4th weekend. But we'll have some discussions.
Yeah, and if you guys can discuss and at least let us know ASAP so we can get those reservations made for you, we would be happy to do that. Okay.
Certainly.
Thanks.
Thank you very
both.
much. Next item is the consent agenda, and there was that addition on, the only change between what was in the packet and what is on the table is Michael Burgess to the Board of Zoning Appeals. And that was my fault. I mean, he's a really great guy. He actually volunteered to be on both the library board and the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I didn't think that was an issue. And then later I was corrected by our friendly attorney to my right. So I needed to discuss with him what his preference was, and so that's why that wasn't in the original packet.
I didn't realize that was.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know that either. So,
That's good to
not
know.
not allowed. So, anyway, those are, I believe, all recommendations. So, next item then is the fire rescue training facility drill tower.
Good evening, Commissioners. Ryan Higgins, Interim Fire Chief, Hayes Fire Department. I was here to discuss with you tonight the training tower award of bid. Back in March, we did receive the grant from the Hansen Foundation for the construction of the fire rescue training facility. And this is concept pictures of what our drill tower is going to look like once completed. So you can see it's going to be pretty nice. We received 4 bids from throughout the country, with the low bid coming from American Fire Training Systems at $145,917. Your options: we can accept the bid from American Fire Training, direct me to another option, or we can do nothing. What we are requesting is authorize the city manager to execute a contract with American Fire Training Systems in the amount of $145,917 for the construction of the drill tower for the Hayes Regional Fire Rescue Training Facility, to be funded from the Fire Rescue Training Facility CIP.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the city manager to execute a contract with American Fire Training Systems in the amount of $145,917 for the construction of the drill tower for the Hayes Regional Fire Rescue Training Facility, to be funded from the Fire Rescue Training Facility CIP.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Melick, second by Commissioner Musil. Discussion, comments?
Do we have a timeline on this?
We're going to be going on the concrete pad that this is going to be fastened to here shortly, and then once we execute the contract with them, they'll have 200 days start to finish.
I think what I like most about this, I know we talked about last week, is being a regional training site. I think that's just another thing that's, it's another asset we have in the community of Hayes. So
I agree.
Great job.
Thank you to Dane G. Hansen.
Yeah, absolutely.
For their,
Absolutely.
they're very important to the community, and I think
Yes, they are.
it's important to recognize them because they're making a significant contribution to our community.
Yes, they are. We do appreciate them.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you, Chief.
you.
Next is the Crawford Addition annexation.
Good evening, Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. So the next 3 items on the agenda tonight I've kind of wrapped up into one presentation, since they are all relating to the same property. So this item tonight is for the consideration of annexation, zoning, and plating for what's known as a Crawford Addition. The property is located north of Hayes, be at the northwest corner of the intersection of 48th and Roth Avenue. Here's a little closer up image. Here you can see the blue boxes here outlined in yellow. Those are the 2 lots that are proposed within the plat. Current zoning of the property is agricultural, and they have asked the property to be zoned to C2 General Commercial and Service District. As you can see, the property to the west and north is primarily also zoned agricultural currently. However, the property to the south and across to the east side of Vine Street has in the past been zoned slowly to the same C2 General Commercial District as is being requested. The future land use map found as part of the comprehensive plan does identify the property as urban reserve, which means it's slated for the next step of development. It's set aside for development, utilities are nearby, ready to be extended, and so forth. Current city limits, since we're talking about annexation, everything in the blue shaded area, especially to the south here and some of this area over here on the east side of Vine, is currently in the city limits, as well as the right-of-way of Roth Avenue, Vine Street, and General Hayes. So this property does abut city limits on 2 sides. The plat being proposed is consisted of 2 lots. Lot 1 to the south, Lot 2 to the north. Lot 1 is approximately 3.5 acres. The north lot, Lot 2, is approximately 2 acres. The proposed development of Tractor Supply Company is proposing to go on Lot 1. This is supposed to be a little closer view, but it's not that much closer. So one thing I do want to point out is on the north end of the plat, there is a right-of-way for a future proposed street. The developer has dedicated the right-of-way in the event a future street is needed in the area. This would be in the area of an anticipated street for the remainder of the undeveloped property to the west.
It says future street, yes, yes.
While you're there, Jesse, can I ask you a question on that?
You sure can.
How will they access Lot 1 and Lot 2?
Okay. Currently, we have received a site plan for Tractor Supply. They have two entrances, one being right at towards the west side of Lot 1, and the other one being at the north end of Lot 1. There are access control limits along certain areas adjacent to the intersection, so they are required to stay certain distances away, and their site plan as drafted does meet those requirements. So they have provided circulation pattern. The building will be up in this area, parking lot, outdoor storage area, the kind of circulation pattern that will go around the building entirely for fire access as well as delivery access for their own supplies that come in.
Well, what we're asking, so when we annex this, we're actually annexing portion of 48th Street, so we're taking on part of a county road, correct?
That is. We actually currently have the south half of 48th already. It was annexed with the development to the south, so this will give us the north half. And that's typical of developments like this. Typically, we'll annex the roadway. There are no required improvements to that roadway at this time occurring. However, that could be up for future discussion as this develops further west.
And when we annex the road, it is just the width of the plat?
Just the width of the plat, correct.
So how do we, if we have half the road and the county has the other half, how does that work?
How's it supposed to work?
It seems to work. It's not the easiest thing. We have seen, and we have other roads such as 41st Street from Vine Street to Hall is that way.
Right.
Some sections of 27th Street, West 27th are that way, where we have the north half, the counties, and the south half. We've always been able to work it out amongst the city and the county together jointly for maintenance. There's been some areas where an entire road is in the city that the county has done, or vice versa, if it's in the county, we've done it. So to this point, it's, I don't know, maybe sort of a gentleman's handshake kind of a thing, right? To where we've not had issues. And to this point, like I said, we've been able to partner with them and make it work in those couple instances that we have.
Okay.
The one thing I didn't mention yet, that water and sewer are both located on the south side of 48th and the Roth Avenue intersection, and both will be extended to the north side of the developed lot by the developer at their cost. They've already submitted, again, they're ready to move on this. They've submitted plans, hoping for your approval of these items tonight. Anytime we talk about rezoning, we do like to mention the uses that are allowed by right within the proposed zoning district. So these are straight out of the Unified Development Code and are the uses that are allowed if this property were to be zoned as C2. Primarily they're hotel, motel, restaurant, service, and retail type of businesses. So your options tonight, of course, you could consider annexing the property, rezoning from ALT to C2, and approving the final plat as submitted. Or you could not move any or all of the items forward. If you do decide to take action, there would be 3 separate motions required, 3 separate votes, one for each item. With that, I'd take any questions you have.
I'll move that we approve ordinance number 3953, annexing Crawford Addition to the city of Hayes.
I'll second.
A motion by Commissioner Musil, seconded by Commissioner Melick. Any further discussion or questions?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
I'll make a motion we approve ordinance number 3954, rezoning the proposed Crawford Addition from agricultural AL to Commercial General District C2.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Melick, second by Commissioner Musil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
I'll move that we approve resolution number 2018-007, adopting the final plot of Crawford Addition.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Musil, second by Commissioner Melick. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0.
Jesse, I have a quick question on the second edition there. Do they have something in mind that is?
We've not heard anything yet on the north lot. Hopefully we see something in there soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, we have next item is 2019 budget review and scheduling of the public hearing.
Mayor and Commissioners, Jacob Wood, Assistant City Manager. Over the last couple of weeks, we've discussed the budget. You guys have given us several changes to make. We've made all the changes that have been requested. At this point, if you would like to make any further adjustments or have any further discussion, we can do that, but we would request that you set a public hearing date for August 9th.
Okay, I think we need a motion for that. Yes? Okay. I'll move we set a public hearing date of August 9, 2018 for the 2019 budget.
Second.
Motion by me, second by Commissioner Musil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Do we actually have a progress report tonight?
We certainly do.
Hey, I thought maybe since you were doing double duty, you were gonna.
Here's the test, getting to the podium without falling down.
You can do it.
All right. I'm Assistant City Manager Jacob Wood. I'll be doing this month's progress report. Started on the Parks Department. Over at Sunrise Park, the Hayes Beautification Committee, in coordination with the Parks Department, installed a pollinator garden. The Beautification Committee applied for a grant for Midwest Energy, and they worked with a local 4-H club to put in this little garden that's supposed to bring in bees, butterflies, and those sorts of things into Sunrise Park. At Frontier Park, the Parks Department put in a kiosk. This is going to go right outside the where the buffalo are at. There'll be some information on the sign about the buffalo, and CVB is actually going to help park staff to manage and update and maintain the content on that kiosk. We had a retirement in the Parks Department. Dave Younger retired on June 9th after 12 years of service with the Parks Department, so we thank him for his service. I appreciate everything he did for the city. Move on to the fire department. The fire department did several different types of training this month. This is a couple of pictures of vehicle extraction training. They also conducted water rescue training at the water complex. This is something that they do every year. Move on to information technology. The big news in the IT world right now is that they have moved locations. They are no longer at the end of the hall here at City Hall. They have moved to the CVB. There was an opportunity for them to move into that space when Grow Hayes moved from there down to the co-working space. They are pretty excited about the space. It allows them to kind of expand their operations, or actually have more. They're not going to expand their operations, but they'll have a better capacity to do what they need to do from that location, better storage, all of those things. So they're up and in the Welcome Center right now, and there you guys can go by and visit if you want to see what their setup looks like. In the water department, I'm going to talk a little bit about Allen Street. We talked about the Allen Street street project quite a bit over the last couple months as that goes, but we haven't talked anything about the water line. There is some, anytime we tear up a street like that, we like to take a look at all the infrastructure and see if we need to replace it. And the 8-inch water line that goes through that area is something that has to be replaced, so our staff is working with the contractor to make sure that they have the water turned off at the right time, the right place, so they can replace that line. You may have noticed that there is some work going on at the Sternberg Water Tower. This is our 1 million gallon water tower. They are actually going to put a skirt around the outside of the water tower. They'll sandblast it, remove any lead paint, and then they will repaint the tower. It should take about 6 weeks for that project to complete, so we're about 1 week in right now. This is a picture of probably about a week ago. They've already got a lot more going on at the top. You guys, if you want to go out and watch them do the work, it's pretty impressive seeing those guys string off the top of that water tower. Not something that I would ever want to be part of. You may have noticed over the last couple of weeks we've had a lot of water leaks in town. We've had 7 leaks in the last 14 or 15 days, and that's one of those records that you don't really want to break, but I think that's probably the most water breaks in any in that given time period that we've ever had, and that's just due to we've had a lot of water, a lot of heat. Anytime you have water and moisture and the temperature changes, you get those kind of grounds shift and water lines break.
Yeah, I
So
always feel so sorry for those guys because it seems like the majority of the time it's either like 110 or like negative.
yeah, absolutely. It's you
When they
kind
have
of
to
can't
go out
win. Those
there.
are the 2 times of the year that we really see a lot of water breaks, when it's super cold and when it's super hot. So and the rain has really contributed to that as well. So those guys have been out doing a lot of great work getting those lines fixed. They do a great job of locating the leak, getting it fixed on short order, and then we have the public works staff that'll go in and help, do the concrete over the top. So appreciate everybody that's involved with that. In the public works department, we are repairing concrete all over town. This is a picture of 3rd and Ash, some street repair that we did there. The airport crew, or the service division crew, is also working out at the airport to put a new parking lot in. This is the extended parking to the east of our current parking. They've been working out there for a couple weeks, and they should have about another 2 or 3 weeks, and they'll complete. Probably would have had it done already had it not rained like it has in the last couple of weeks. That slowed them down a little bit, but they're doing a lot of good work out there, and it's going to be a good product when they're done.
That's interesting. I was out there the other day, and I was amazed on how many vehicles were parked out in the grass because the parking lot was full. So I mean, that's
Well, that's a good
Yeah.
sign.
yeah, it's a great sign.
Good.
That's the first time I'd ever seen that, and that was pretty neat. So.
And we have continued to see our airport numbers. The last couple of months have been some of the best months that we've had.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome.
Since we've been recording this. So
Mhm.
we continue to watch the boardings go up and up, and so this parking lot's coming at a good time.
Yeah.
Mhm. On to project management. There's a water line replacement that took place in the 2400 block of General Hayes Road, which is right behind Nex-Tech. This is a project that began in June. It's about a $50,000 project that was done by M&D Excavating, and it was completed on the 16th of July. Here's a couple of pictures. What we did is we abandoned a 4-inch line that was kind of up close, adjacent to the building, and we pulled the line out to the street and reestablished service connections in that area. I'd like to invite you guys out to the Hayes Police Department Community Night Out. This will be the 3rd time that they've done this event. It'll be held on August 2nd, Thursday, August 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m. Unfortunately, you guys have meetings right around that time. But they serve free hamburgers and hot dogs, and the admission to the pool is free that night. It's been a very well-attended event in the last couple of years, and we would expect the same this year. In the CVB sponsored a Larks game. They were out there with a booth. They were actually promoting the airport, so they've been spending time promoting the regional airport.
Am I incorrect? I think that maybe there's been a slight change in the flight time of the Chicago flight starting in October, or was that just a rumor?
That's correct, and I don't have the exact time. It's moving earlier in the day. So right now, I think you arrive in Chicago around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It should be a couple hours before that.
Sorry, 2 hours to 6 o'clock.
So about 6 o'clock you should arrive. And so that should open things up a little bit at the airport as far as being able to hit connections when you hit Chicago. Right now you kind of get there a little bit late in the evening. But so that should, I'm not sure exactly when in October that takes place, but sometime in October they plan to switch that schedule.
I was just looking at some to go east, and I ended up booking to leave through Denver and then go east. But coming back, it was actually more advantageous to come through Chicago. So I don't know, it's kind of nice to have that Chicago flight.
Yeah.
And just a couple of upcoming events I'd like to highlight. Leadership Hayes is a statewide leadership program. They're in town right now. We've had CVB out showing them around. I think the water department's done some tours for them as well. And then actually Toby's going to speak to them tomorrow morning. So that'll be riveting, I'm sure. But we've really done a lot of work to try and make this a really good trip for them. In the past, you guys, they've come to the community and we maybe didn't do as well as we could have. and kind of got some reports from previous years. So we've really tried to go over the top this year and make this an event that they're excited to come to Hayes for.
I had the opportunity to meet with some of them last night, and like always, just comments they said about our community was very nice, and it's hopefully we can get them back here more. I think is it now every 2 years do they come here, something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not sure.
but just to hear the people talk about our community and what's going on, it was
yeah, and we have to give Melissa a lot of credit for that because she's worked really hard with the chamber to make sure that we're dotting all the I's and crossing the T's and making a good trip.
And these are leaders throughout the state, so that's pretty nice to show off Hayes.
Another big event that's coming in is the International Convention of American Historical Society of Germans from Russia. I think they'll have 200 or 300 people here in town to kind of see the German sites, and it's a kind of a cool and unique little group that's coming to town, but we enjoy having them here, and hopefully we can have that, if we can impress them on this trip, it'll be something that we can have, in future years as well.
I'm excited about that. You've explained that there'll be a convention center the next time they come back, right? Yeah.
Then, of course, August is coming, so that means that we'll have Fort Hays State move in, 15th to the 17th, and then we have a fall art walk that is coming up. And the last thing I'm going to highlight tonight is that the city will be having new office hours starting on August 6th, so we'll be open. It's from 7:30 to 5:30 from Monday through Thursday, so we will be open 30 minutes earlier and 30 minutes later in the day, and then we'll be open from 7:30 to 11:30 on Friday. So we're going to close down Friday afternoon, extend our hours a little bit during the week. Hopefully that allows the public to have a little bit more time maybe to come in before work or after work, and it also is something that we can boast to our staff as well. A lot of staff they're really excited about having that half day off at the end of the week. I'm not having to use an extra vacation day or a whole vacation day if they want to take a whole Friday off. So it's also a kind of a benefit to the employees as well.
I like it.
And that is all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Commissioner Mellick, did you have
I
any?
have nothing to say.
Okay.
Just have a couple things. I was able to tour. You talked about the co-working space, and I'll tell you, if you guys have been down there, that is
Yep.
phenomenal. I think
It's very nice.
Yeah,
they did a
Very
great job,
nice.
and I look forward to seeing what comes out of that.
Karen did the design down there was
Yeah.
awesome. Karen did a great job.
It's very it's fresh and it's exciting. So, and a lot of other communities have been doing this, so we'll see what comes out of that. Jacob, I have a question. I was on the dike, I guess, behind Larks Park last night, a couple nights ago. I've noticed there's some areas where they've kind of looks like they're cutting out. You're going to pour some cement. Do you know anything about that, or have you?
I am not
No.
sure.
Okay.
No, I can check into it.
Okay, if you would. I mean, it was just small areas, but I was just kind of interested what they were doing up there. So that's all I have.
Okay. And just in our discussion about the annexation of the Crawford Addition, if it would be possible, I would really actually like to know more, maybe have like a summary of those areas where we're working, maybe part of the road is county, part of the road is city, or at least roads that maybe abut the city that are actually county, and kind of what relationship, what we do, what the county takes care of, not because I think we need to change or anything, but I would just be interested in knowing more about it, just because I think that there's actually a lot of instances of that around our community, and I think that it's a really good example of how we're working with the county and working with other entities.
A few years ago, before you were on the commission, the county came in and helped the city put down cold asphalt mix on 7th Street because they had a lot of experience in that, and they came in and showed the city crews how to do that. So I thought that was great for the fact that they were willing to work with us to show us how to do it, and I think Public Works is expanded on that. And
Absolutely, and they have some equipment that we just don't have, the city doesn't have, so actually later, as part of the street maintenance program, they will be chip sealing the street out at Bickelschmidt Sports Complex, so we continue to work with them on those sorts of things,
Right.
and kind of share resources where we can.
Well, and Mayor, like you were saying, I bet there's many people that have no clue that, we take care of half and the county takes care of half. So I think that would be interesting if.
Yeah, it's just an informational thing, just
Yeah.
for me, because I I think that, you know, I hear a lot whenever people have the impression that we're not working together, but I think that if whatever example that they could come up with, I think that I could probably come up with about 30 other examples where we are working together. So this would be one of them. So
That's what they expect.
We can absolutely put something together for you.
yeah, I think it'd be interesting. So I don't have anything else. So may God bless the city of Hayes. Meeting adjourned.
Oh,